Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, and text number 23. That's there near the cow on the table. Where Prahlad Maharaj is explaining about the wonderful process through which one can render devotional service to the Lord. And that process is nothing than the ninefold devotional service that one can render to their Lordship. There he explains about Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsar Pita Vishnu Bhaktishe Navalakshana Kriyate Bhagavatyadha Tanmanne Adhyuttamam. These 9 processes are accepted as a pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person. For he has acquired a complete knowledge. Tanmadhe Adhitama Uttama. Adhitama means the most learned person. And Uttama means who is, Ut means who has awakened. And from what? Tama. Tama means darkness. After accepting this ninefold process of devotional service, what happens? One comes out of the darkness of ignorance. And we have already discussed different processes like Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing, chanting the glories of the Lord, remembering Him, then rendering service at His lotus feet, then worshipping Him in the temple as a Raksha Vigraha, then serving Him as a servant. And now we will discuss about serving their Lordship in the mood of a friend. Sakhya. Prabhupada, he writes in his purport, he says, in regard to worshipping the Lord as a friend, the Agastya Samhita states that a devotee engaged in performing devotional service by Shravanam and Kirtanam sometimes wants to see the Lord personally. When you hear about the Lord and when you constantly chant His glories and His wonderful pastime, then you will develop a desire to see that person personally, to meet Him, to talk to Him. And for this purpose, he resides in the temple. Elsewhere, there it is said, O my Lord, Supreme Personality of a Godhead, an eternal friend, although you are full of bliss and knowledge, you have become the friend of the residents of Vrindavan. How fortunate are these devotees! In this statement, the word friend is specifically used to indicate intense love. Friendship, therefore, is better than servitude, than dasya. In the stage above dasyaras, the devotee accepts the Supreme Personality of a Godhead as a friend. This is not at all astonishing. For when a devotee is pure in heart, the opulence of his worship of the deity diminishes as a spontaneous love for the personality of a Godhead is manifested. It is more intimate and more spontaneous than other processes that has explained already. In this regard, Sridhar Swami, he was the first Acharya who has written down the commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. And his commentary is considered as topmost commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a Bhagavata Prakash, or Bhavadipika. Bhavadipika is the name of that commentary. And Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considers him as one of the greatest authority on Srimad Bhagavatam. And he says, Sridama Vipra, who expressed to himself his feeling of obligation, thinking, life after life, may I be connected with Krishna in this friendly attitude. Ujana Sakhijana. Sakhijana means being friend to their Lordship. As explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sripad Rupa Goswami Pad says, when Lord was staying in Vrindavan till the age of 15, his stay there was divided into 3 parts according to the age group that he had. From 1 to 5, that was Kaumar Avastha. Then from 6 to 10, it was Pauganda. And from 11 to 16 or 15, it was like a Kaishorya Avastha. In all this age group, he had very intimate friends there in Vrindavan. And that friendship was so intimate that they were too attached to their Lordship. And according to their intensity of love with the Lord, they were divided into different categories. Sakha, Priyanarama Sakha, and Surda, who are too intimate to the Lord. There are Dwadasha Sakhas. They are known as, and among them is Sridama, a brother of Srimati Radharani, was lead or Agragani in that. He was leading that whole group of Sakhas, Dwadasha Sakha. Then there is a Sridama, Sudama, Bal, Subal, then Stopa Krishna. All they come in that category. And they were so intimate with the Lord, they can just hang around their hands on his neck. They can move around with him. At the one point, once Subal, when he was embracing their Lordship in front of everyone, Radharani she looked at him and she was a little bit jealous of him. And she asked, Subal, you must have done so much of punya, krita punya punja, that in front of everyone you are capable to embrace their Lordship, and I can't, because there are some restrictions. But freely they can't just embrace each other in front of the elderly people. But at least Subal, being a friend of their Lordship and so intimate to him, at least he can do that. See, their friendship was so intimate where they don't have that mood of worship for Krishna. Like if somebody goes to Vaikuntha and hangs around Lord Vishnu, will that happen? Because here, Lord in that gesture, he is in the office. So when you go to the office, you have to maintain some etiquette. Huh? What do you say? Protocol. When you go there. But at home, you can just do anything what you want. You can make him horse, make him elephant, sit on his back. It depends upon you. But the intimacy of a friendship is so much that the For them, it don't care whether you are in the office, whether you're in the parliament, whether you are anywhere. They will come and just second out, and you know what? You must be having some friends. You must be having that experience. That wherever you may be, you are friend for him, nothing else, nothing more than that. So when Lord went to Mathura, and he killed Kamsa, he killed the Chanura, Mushtika and other Mallas who were such a powerful personalities. He killed Kamsa and he was standing in the arena. Subala, he jumped in the ring, he came, he jumped on Krishna, he made it flat on the earth and he said, see, I am so powerful than you. You have killed Kamsa? Look at it. Now you are down and I am sitting on your chest. So I am more powerful than you. Who can do this? They never worship Krishna as a supreme personality of a godhead. For them, he is Langotia. They are ready to do anything for him. Like one day, when all they were playing, all of a sudden, one of the friend, Priya Narmasakha, he saw that clouds are hovering around the Govardhan and they are looking like a big giant bull. They thought that it's like a Arishtasur. Then he took out his bugle, the horn flew from the cow's horn, they make that, or bull's horn, and he started playing that. Then just Subal looked at him and said, why you are doing so? No worries, that's not a demon. And don't think that Krishna is so, what we can say, delicate, that he will get afraid of that demon. He can smash him down, just forget about, leave that. Krishna is taking rest, let him take rest. And as he was taking rest, somebody came and he started massaging his feet. Krishna, when he was in a Pauganda avastha, he was looking so beautiful. His lips were becoming more reddish, like a bimba fruit. And his hair became so long, they went up to his hips. And he was such a well decorated by Mother Yashoda with the help of Chitrak and Patrak. They were the friends who used to assist Mother Yashoda to decorate their worship. They used to sleep so that they can get up early in the morning and rush toward the Yashoda's Maya's place where they can first see their lordship. And they were awaiting outside. And Mother Yashoda used to see them and she used to call, hey, come inside, help me out, so that Krishna can get ready easily. So they used to go inside and they used to assist. As Mother Yashoda is putting turban to their lordship, they used to put ankle bells. They used to put nice decorations with the different natural colors on Krishna's body so that he can look more beautiful. And they used to make him ready. And as they used to make him ready, he used to go out, they used to carry his tiffin along with him. They were so mesmerized by the beauty of Krishna that they didn't want to leave him. And when Brahmaji, he saw that, he used to say, what sort of a pious activities that these jivas they have done for previous lifetimes, that they got such a chance to be so intimate with the Lord. And who is that Lord? Akhanda Koti, Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. And he is behaving like a common boy. Sometimes they used to challenge him. Like when they used to go to steal something somewhere, or sometimes to get a butter from someone's house. One day what happened? Gopis, they become a little bit smart. They said, now we are going to catch this thief. Every time he just sneaks away. Now this time we really wanted to get him red-handed. So what they did, they attached all bells around the, what they call? Generally that you can hang it on the ceiling, because English they don't have that thing. So they don't have word for that also. Shika, they called it in Hindi. So, what? So they put all the butter pots in that and they hang it up to the ceiling. And there was a totally darkness in that room. Why they hang that bells also, tight bells around that, so that if Krishna comes, by mistake he touches that thing and shakes it, all bells will start ringing and will catch him red. So they did that. And one by one, his friends, they entered into that room and they saw everywhere, all nooks and corners, they were searching for the pots of butter, but they were not able to see anything. He said, nothing is there. How is it possible? I said, no, something is there. Otherwise, I have seen, Madhu Mangal said that there are some gopis, they are moving around here. They were sneaking in from the window that is there somebody or not. That means something is there inside, definitely. Otherwise, they will not just move around here. I said, okay. Then they had one small monkey. His name was Dadiloba. They let him in. And he started moving here and there. He also tried and he was failed to do that. Generally, monkeys are very sharp to get things which are hidden, as Hanumanji got Simati, Sita Devi from Lanka. So, they tried with Dadiloba, but Dadiloba also failed. Then Krishna and Balaram, they went inside and they were standing right there where the pots were hanging. And as they were thinking, the butter in the pot thought that what's the use of our existence if we are not able to serve Krishna? Let commit suicide. So the butter jumped from the pot down. And where it fell on? It fell on Krishna's hand. And then they realized, oh, here it is now. Then Lord, his body was self-illuminating. Because of that illumination, they were able to see that pots they are hung up now. So what they did? Now what you can call that? They stood one upon one. What you can say that? Huh? What do you say in Tamil? Ladder. In Tamil you said a ladder. हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं उसको? हाँ, कुछ तो कहते हैं. Then they just climbed one upon one, and they made a human ladder. Actually, generally, in technical engineering language, we can call it as human scaffolding. So they were standing one upon one and they reached up. Then Madhu Mangal said, Krishna, look at there are so many bells. If you shake it a little bit also, they will jingle and you will get caught. So do something. You claim yourself as a supreme personality. Na? Now let's see how you can control these bells. Then Lord immediately, if he got challenged by his friends, then everybody knows what happens. The ego gets hurt. Lord said, okay, no problem. Then he said, reciting deities of bells appeared. So they came in front of, they stood and they said, yes, my Lord, what we can do? I don't want to hear any noise. Just keep quiet, okay? They said, okay. Then Lord started giving one by one pot down. The last pot was there and he thought that now let me taste it at least. So he was standing up there itself and he just took a morsel of butter and put it in his mouth, and what happened? All the bells started. All the boys down, they started laughing at, hey, look at you, who are you? Huh? Who cares about you? Even this bell, they don't listen to you. They started ringing. Now we got, Krishna got like a red and blue and he said, hey, what is this? What nonsense? He said, what to do? In all the texts, it is said that whenever you eat something, we have to ring. Because whenever you offer bhoga, what do? You ring the bell. So he said, our by default function is that we have to ring. So all the boys, they started laughing at him. They ridiculed him. What the use of being supreme of you? Huh? Even bells, they are not listening. What do you think the other they will listen to you? This only a friend can do with a friend. And friends are so intimate that most intimate secrets you can reveal to him. Few things that your parent does not know about you. Even they say wife is more intimate. But if you have a girlfriend, she does not know, but your friend knows. So that intimacy of thought, that intimacy of heart is there with the friends. And sometimes it happens. You may hesitate to take remnants of your parents, maybe sometimes of your wife also. But to eat in the friend's tiffin or to grab something from his hands, you don't feel any hesitation. Is that true? Why is it so? Because you can't express that feeling in words, do you? No. So that intimacy there in Sakya. And Lord is ready to do anything for that. For example, when Lord Krishna, he became a messenger of a peace and he went to Hastinapur. There Duryodhana was his own Samdi. Duryodhana's daughter got married with Lord's son. And Duryodhana called him for the lunch. And he made such a fabulous arrangement, and that in the palace of Dushasana. Because Dushasana was most materially opulent prince of Hastinapur. His palace was really fabulous. And everything was arranged so meticulously and wonderfully. All the golden pots, the preparations of high class, everything was arranged there. And Duryodhana asked, okay, come and have a lunch with us. Lord said, I'm sorry, I'm not hungry. And I don't want to eat at your place. There, in Mahabharata it is explained, person, there are two conditions when he never eats at someone's place. First thing, that when your stomach is really full. And second thing, if you don't have love at all for that person. Sometimes your stomach is full, but if you have a really love for that person, you can squeeze out something inside. Why? Just that person should not get hurt. But here, neither he had hunger or not he had a love for Duryodhana. He said, just I don't want to eat. And he left that. And where he went? Why? Because he had so much of love. And what he ate there? Huh? Pills of banana. He went to Pandavas when they were in a forest. What he ate there? Just one piece of grain. And that quenched his hunger. So what he needs actually? Intimacy, love. And especially that the love that he had for Arjuna is unparalleled. And you can't compare that love with anyone else. Whenever Arjuna used to go to Dwarka, all the queens of Krishna, they used to become jealous of him. They used to see, what sort of a person is this? Because of him, our husband goes to Hastinapur and stays for months together because he don't want to leave him. And when our husband comes back here, he leaves Hastinapur and comes and stays with us. So where is our role in his life then? What sort of intimacy and love they are having for each other? Because whenever Lord used to go to Hastinapur, Arjuna, he was so busy. He was a Budakesh. He has conquered his sleep, so he never used to sleep. He used to practice his military art so intensely. Naraji, he was telling to their Lordship, Arjuna is so attached to you. While practicing, he was always remembering you. And whenever you come, he leaves everything and he just moves around you. Like a bumblebee moves around the fragrant flower. He can't live without you. So one day when Arjuna was in Dwarka, Naraji came to visit. And Naraji wanted to see that why Lord is so attached to Arjuna. He had that thought in his mind and he entered the palace. And what he saw by seeing that, his eyes were wide open. was like, how it can happen? Arjuna is lying on the bed. Mother Rukmini and Satyabhama, they are doing chamar and fan to him. And Lord Krishna is sitting and he is massaging feet of Arjuna. By seeing that, he said, it should be otherwise. That Lord should be lying there, Arjuna should be massaging, and they should be fanning to Lord. Now what's happening here? As Naradji, he can't stay without chanting the glories of Lord. As he was playing his veena, Lord said, shh, no sound. Arjuna is taking rest. He said, what? Then he came and said, this is what I can't understand. What is this? He said, just wait. Wait for 5 minutes. Then I will tell you. But Naradji was not able to stop. He said, how it is happening? And he said, okay, do one thing. Go and put your ear on any part of the body of Arjuna. And then you will come to know. So he said, better to touch that part only where Lord has his hand. So Lord was massaging Arjuna's feet. So he went and he put his ear there on his leg. And for his surprise, as anywhere you put your hand, you feel the pulse. And what Narada felt there? Krishna, 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 Krishna. And then Naradji realized. He said, while moving around everywhere, I chant the holy name of God. But here look at the person who was in the deep sleep, but each and every part of his body now resonates. What is it? Resonate the name of their Lordship. And that's what intimacy and friendship that Lord had with Arjuna. On the battlefield, see what Lord has accepted for Arjuna. To become a chariot driver is not that easy actually. Because when you are on the battlefield and the person or the warrior who is there in the car, if he has to point out the chariot, now take a straight or just go to the light, go to the left or turn around, how you will indicate that? Because there is a tumultuous noise on the warfield. It is not possible to guide that person by speaking to him. What do you have to do then? If you want to go to the left, you have to kick on the left shoulder. You have to go on the right, you have to kick on the right shoulder. You have to go straight. And Lord accepted that. Actually, Arjuna never did that because Arjuna was carried by the Lord wherever Lord wants it to take. But he accepted that post. Can you imagine? And Ashwatthama, he was knowing, as he was very intimate friend to Duryodhana, he was knowing the intimacy of friendship of Lord Krishna and Arjuna. So he wanted to hurt Arjuna, but not directly. So what he did? He broke all the rules of war and he started hurting Krishna. He started shooting arrows on Lord. And Lord took a vow that he will not fight. So he was not resisting for that. And when Arjuna saw that, he jumped and he came in the front and he stood in front of the Lord. And he took all that arrows on his body. There Vyasdevji writes the feelings of Arjuna's heart, that Arjuna was feeling that Ashwatthama is showering flowers on him. Can you imagine? See the reciprocation. And when here Bhishma Dev, I think it was on 10th day or 8th day, Duryodhana came inside the tent of Bhishma Dev and he said, what are you doing? Are you loyal to Hastinapur? Why you are protecting Pandavas? And Bhishma Deva got shocked. He said, yes, he is challenging my loyalty to Hastinapur. This rascal, he should understand that he is alive because I am loyal to Hastinapur. Otherwise, this guy would have killed long back in the Dyutakrida only. Bhima would have smashed him down. But it was me, because of my presence there, Bhima never did anything to him. And now he is challenging my loyalty to Hastinapur. Then Bhishma said, okay, I am taking the vow. Tomorrow morning all Pandavas will be killed. Here are these 5 arrows. And Duryodhana was such a crook and diplomat. He said, okay, give me that arrows. I will give you tomorrow. Whenever you will be on the battlefield, I will personally come and hand over it to you, these arrows. He was not having faith, no trust at all. Because he was himself a Kali personification. And the symptom of Kali Yuga is that it never develops faith in sadhu and shastra and Lord. So if you don't have a faith, understand that you are Kali Chela. Because that's the symptom. Then what happened? Lord, he was just walking to and fro. And Arjuna in his tent, he was deep sleep. He was snoring. And here Lord was just walking back and forth, because being a Paramatma, he was in everyone's heart and he was knowing what the situation is going on. And he know now Bhishma has taken a vow, and Bhishma is well known for his vow. He said, now tomorrow Arjuna is dead. Who is going to save me? So he went to the Arjuna's tent. He just walking on. What is this? Why you are sleeping? He said, what else I should do? Already you spoke 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. I heard that. Now let me relax. Because I have to be instrument. And now I am your instrument and you have to operate me. So let me take rest. He said, you know? I said, no. He said, no, I don't know. What? Bhishma has taken vow that he is going to finish all of you tomorrow. I said, okay, if you desire so, what Bhishma? Even any lame soldier can come and kill us. If you don't, then even Bhishma can't do anything to us. So let me take rest. Go, you also take rest. He said, how I can take rest now? There is another devotee, Mahajan, who has taken a vow to kill my another devotee whom I consider my life and soul. How I can leave? He said, it is your problem, not mine. So he said, okay, do one thing. Yeah, I am ready. Whatever you say, I am ready to do it. He said, no, go to Duryodhana. He said, Bhishma has taken a vow. What have to go to Duryodhana? He said, just do it what I said. Be the instrument only. He said, okay, no problem. I will do. So he went. He said, what should I do over there? Then he said, do you remember? He said, what? That's some time back, you saved Duryodhana from the Gandharvas. And that time, Duryodhana has given you boon. He said that whatever you ask, he is ready to give you. So now the time has come. He said, why should I go and ask him? He said, just do it, I am telling you. See, this is the rebellious nature of conditioned soul. He heard the whole Bhagavad Gita, but still he is saying, why? Actually, this is intimacy of friendship. Arjuna was a friend, so he said, hey, क्या नया चल रहा है यार, क्या बता रहे? He said, okay, go. Said, okay, I will go. And what should I ask for? Just go and ask him that you want that 5 arrows. He said, which? Just do it. Don't ask which one. Just get a 5 arrows from him. He said, okay, I will do it. So he went. And Duryodhana was surprised. Dead of night, Arjuna at my tent, he said, yes, please, come, have a seat. And before Arjuna asked anything, he said, ask anything, I am ready to give you, other than kingdom. That you have to fight and get it from me. But other than that, you ask anything, I am ready to give. He said, my brother, first fulfill first vow, then I will take about this second one. The first time you asked me that I should ask something and you will give me without any question. So I am asking you about the five arrows. When Arjuna heard about that 5 arrows, Duryodhana heard about that 5 arrows, the 71% water in his body got dried up. What? Arrows? Who told you? I said, don't ask any question. And you agreed for that. So just give me arrows. He said, okay. He gave that arrow. Arjuna took that arrow and came back. Gave it to Keshava. Early in the morning, when Bhishma Dev was preparing himself for the battlefield, he was dressed by his first people, assistant. They were helping him to dress. He was dressed perfectly, and he just came out of his tent. As soon as he came out of his tent, one lady came and she touched his lotus feet, and he said, Saubhagyavati Bhava. What do you mean by Saubhagyavati Bhava? Your husband should long live. And who was that? And she just got up and said, Tatashri, here I am Draupadi. Bhishma Dev, he said, Keshava, no one else. It's you who is playing around with me. Huh? But if you have taken a vow that you are going to break my vow, I am going to break your vow. So this is the transcendental relationship that Lord has his own devotees. Now he is challenging the Lord himself. Let's see how you can save him. Either you have to break your promise or I have to break my promise. And he fought so ferocious. He killed half of the Pandavas' army. And then he marched toward Arjuna. And torrents of arrows he was shooting at him. And Arjuna was like totally baffled. He was not able to string his bow. So many arrows. They are just coming, and then what happened? By seeing all that things, Lord got furious. He said, now there is no time. If it will continue for another moment, Arjuna is punished. Because Lord also got hurt. And Bhishma Dev was shooting his arrows, they were just passing, touching the Lord's body, and it was bleeding. And when he saw that now this is the last moment, Arjuna is going to die, he just jumped from the chariot. He was looking here and there. As you see the small kid, if he gets really ferocious, he just looks around anything, he just grabs it and runs toward that person to beat him up. Like that, Lord was just looking here and there, something to grab and just throw it on Bhishma Dev. And what he got? Do you think he needs something to do that? Huh? He just grabbed the wheel of chariot and ran towards Bhishma Dev. And as soon as Bhishma Dev saw their lordship, what he did? He threw away his bow, his arrows, his spear, his sword, everything, and he was ready, extending his hand towards the Lord. Here I am. Do as you like. And there Arjuna, when he saw that Krishna is rushing toward Bhishma Dev to kill him, Arjuna just jumped out of chariot, and he came running and he grabbed their lordship from the west and he was dragging him back, and Lord was just dragging him forth. And Bhishma Dev was giving a big smile on his face. He said, this is the fulfillment of my life. Here I am going to die in the hands of Keshava. The person who is Mukunda, Mukti Pradata Sarvesham, who gives liberation to everyone, he is just coming toward me. And here, Arjuna, see, what a intricacy of relationship that they have with each other. Lord wanted to save Arjuna, and Arjuna wanted to save Lord's vow. Hey, you have taken a vow that you are not going to lift any weapon and you are not going to fight, and what you are doing? You are going against your own vow. And here he wanted to protect Lord's vow, and Lord wanted to protect Arjuna. That's the intimacy of Sakya, friendship that they have. And Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, Suradham Sarva Bhutanam. I am the intimate friend to everyone. Irrespective of caste, creed, species you belong to, Lord is always there as an intimate friend. And there is a wonderful example of that in Bhagavatam itself. Who else is known for the friendship? Haridwar Palo. Have you heard about that? What you have heard then? Sudama Vipra. He was so attached to their Lordship. See the friendship here. He was looking at the Lord as a king. And he don't wanted to make Lord embarrassed by going in front of him and calling him as a friend. And they were very intimate. When they were at the Gurukul of Sandipani Muni, they used to eat each other's remnant. They were so intimate to each other. And one became a king and one became a poor Brahmana. He was a Vipra because that's the qualification of Vipra. Vipra who knows Vedas, who has studied all the scriptures, but he voluntarily accepts to live in the poverty so that he can depend on their Lordship. And he was living like that. And every time, whenever he used to speak something, he used to speak about Krishna. His wife got irritated. He said, every time you speak about your friend, but what your friend has done for you? Nothing. You are so attached to your friend, but he has become a king and he never remembers you. Now, there's a time that you should go and talk to him. Then he said, for what? Just go look at our condition. What we have at our home? Nothing. Atra Vishwadaridra. We are so poor that we don't have anything at our home. And as you know, that there are three hattas, hatta. What do you say in English? Hatta. कोई मराठी आहे काही? हाँ. What do you say? हट. जिद. हिंदी में जिद कहते हैं उसको. इंग्लिश में क्या कहूँ? Stubborn. Generally kids, if they need something, adamant. But that is not also proper word. Adamant means it's like without any thought. Someone is adamant on that he wanted to push forward his own point. But hatta means live it. But you got it what I want to say. When your wife is nagging you for something, you know that what everyone has that expression. Huh? So when a kid, Bala Hatta, Stri Hatta and Raja Hatta, you have to fulfill their demands. There is no question. Today or tomorrow. You have to do it. If they have asked it, means you have to do it. Otherwise, the whole life you have to blame for that. So, it is a Stri Hatta. So, Sudama Vipra said, okay, time to go. So, he walked. See the intimacy. When he got a thought to go and see their Lordship, he changed. He took different forms and he facilitated Sudama Vipra on his way. Because Sudama was not carrying anything for himself. Even his clothes, they were torn away. And he put some knots and he was keeping them together. Even he was not having facility to stitch them. So he was just tying them and he was continuing. And all the way he was just remembering their Lordship. And because he was remembering the Lordship was always with him. In different garbs. First he came as a coward person who helped him, who fed him nicely, who showed him the shortcut to reach to Dwarika. Then further he came as one of the person who can give him massage and take care of his body. And then when Sudama Vipra he reached, he came at the doorstep and he said that, can you go and just tell Krishna that I have come? Then soldiers or doorkeepers, they asked, "Who are you?" So just tell him that Sudama has come, who was with him in the Sandipani Muni's ashram. And then they looked at him. They said, "How come? Our Lord is husband of goddess of fortune, and his friend is like this, who was totally torn away." Then they had some reservation. But now, as they had an order of their lordship, whoever comes, they have to come and inform. So they went inside and they told their lordship. As Sarvagya, he was knowing everything. But just to add a flavor in his pastime, he said, "Who is that? Who has come?" So all the wives of the Lord, they became more curious. Now who has come? There was Arjuna. Now he just has left. And now somebody has else come. Who is that? They were curious that to know. Now, what is his plan to run away with now? And then they said, "Maharaj, there is somebody. He's calling himself as your friend." When Lord heard that, Sakha, he just got up from his asana and he said, "Who is that?" And as they say, Sudama Vipra, without wearing his shoes, he ran. And as he was running, his uttari fell down, he was unconscious of that. He just ran towards the door. And he saw there was no one. And said, "What has happened?" Because Sudama Vipra, he felt ashamed that my Lord is such an opulent person. And who am I? I don't want to embarrass him. It's better that I should leave this place. And I can tell my wife something, but I don't want to embarrass my Lord. So he just left and he was started walking. As he started walking, Lord was running behind him. Sudama, Sudama, Sudama. When he heard his name, he just stopped that place and turned around and he saw their Lordship. After so many years, almost 100 years, when he saw their Lordship, he just fell down on the earth. Lord ran towards him, grabbed him, lifted him, and embraced him. And said, "Sudama, this is what our friendship is. I'm not so qualified to embrace you, even that you're feeling in your heart that I will be ashamed to embrace you. This is what our friendship. Do you remember we ate in the one plate? We had remnants of each other, and do you think that I have forgotten you?" They cried incessantly. Sudama was totally bethered with the Lord's stare. And then they brought him inside. When Mother Rukmini saw that, Satyabhama saw that, they said, "Now, gone." Because they know if somebody comes, he is taken away then. Then Lord brought him inside and he showed by his own example. Even though he is a friend, but being born in a Brahmana family, he is worshipable for me also. The person who is worshipped in Rajasuya Yajna by all the great rishis, they gave him a Agra Puja, and that person is worshipping his own friend Sudama, just to set an example. He washed his feet, took that water, sprinkled that water on whose head? Own head, and on the head of goddess of fortune. So then can you imagine the position of Lord's devotees? That's why Lord says, "Na viranchi natvam." He said, he is explaining to Lakshmi, not a Viranchi, Rudra or Lord Shiva or you yourself are so dear to me than my own devotees who have dedicated their life for me. And who are they? These unalloyed devotees like Sudama. So that what intimacy that Lord has with his friends. And you will find in Braja there are so many devotees. They have so much of attachment to their Lordship in this particular rasa. Because there is a more intimacy with the Lord. And there is more spontaneous service attitude than the dasya rasa, or than the process where you can render service as a servant to the Lord. Being a friend, you are ready to do anything for your friend. As Lord, Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka has become a chariot driver for his own friend. What else can be more than that? And if someone develops this sort of intimacy to the Lord, so what else you want in this world? Do you think anything is more precious than this relationship? And that's what Prahlad Maharaj says. One of these angas, one of this process of ninefold devotional service, if you accept in your life is perfect. So here we stop. Because already I've crossed my limits. So any question, any comment, any... Yeah.
So, thank you for the wonderful class. So my question is, so we all started about that, like we always consider ourselves the servants of Krishna, or Krishna's servants. So how do we relate to this Sata relationship? If we are on this platform, that looks like a very high platform.
See, as per the Rupa Goswami Maharaj, who is our Acharya, and we are his followers, he has explained in Nectar of Devotion, there are two vidhis or marga or process through which you can establish your relationship with the Lord. First is Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti, where you have to follow all rules and regulation and purify yourself so you can reach at the level where you can start performing Raganuga Bhakti, which is known as a spontaneous devotional service with the Lord. So all these relationships with the Lord, they start in this Raganuga Bhakti. So right now, we have to follow Vaidhi Bhakti with all rules and regulations and come to the level where we can have this spontaneous attachment to the Lord. And when you start having that, as you start purifying yourself, then you get your original position, what you are and in which melo you can relate yourself with the Lord. So the first purificatory process, Vidhi Marga, that we have to follow perfectly. Then Divya Gyan, Hridaya Prakash, its spiritual master,